When we last left our adventurers, nay, our heroes of Prismeer, they had just rescued, well, just engaged with the mock known as Morgana, sister of Veritas and Chelavi, seemingly wanting to discuss things at the table, but Eve, being the wiser of the group, decided that deals in the Feywild were not a good idea whatsoever, and despite being told no 3 times, she went ahead and made sure that Zyblina was freed from her temporal prison. A fight broke out. The Jabberwocky let loose. And for a moment, it looked very dire for the ally known as Chelavi. But just before it could deal the killing blow, Zyblina was able to come out of her temporal stupor and banish the beast. Meanwhile, Bosch, Veritas, and Gazrakul were dealing with the sorcerer Mock. And eventually, Veritas landed the final scorching blow. In a burst of flame, she was gone. And so now, the party stands mostly in front of Zyblina. Virgil had to run off to chase after the last hag, Endelyn, who had revealed themselves during the fight to still be alive and to have escaped once more. But now, we return. So, but you guys did it.
Yay.
You are standing in front of Zyblina, the queen of Prismeer. Well, most of you anyway. I suppose I would like to ask what each of you intends to do now that seemingly you are no longer under any sort of pressure or constraints.
If no one is going out of their way to bother me, Veritas is going to follow in his wielder's footsteps and brood and sulk in the corner.
Help will kind of join you in the corner. Eye stalks kind of wrap around you. But he doesn't say anything. He just is there to help. How about the wielder, Virgil? Your prey, unfortunately, has escaped. But you do seemingly have a moment of peace at the very least. Yeah, except with the raging storm that seems to be swirling beneath you.
Well, that's one less mock. We'll chalk it up to a good day.
He punches Gazrakul in the arm. Have a bit of empathy, would you? He just
Where
lost
does
a
one
sibling.
apply this? Yes, that's what we're celebrating, yes.
Alright, that's still a foreign concept to you, huh? Maybe you'll figure it out someday. He just kind of slides down the wall into a sitting position and is just kind of ragdolling there now that everything has stopped for the moment.
I know people are probably tired, and yeah, that just happened. We got a ton of loose ends, too, though. I mean, there's folks waiting for us outside. But by the way, we should, I mean, we found that, like, kind of important stuff. It, I mean, it belongs to you. There was something about, like, you wanting to know what other people were planning around you. Like, talking to Zablina. That stuff seems
I'm
like
sorry.
we were kind of poking around, trying to figure out the layout here, and there was like a crystal thing, right?
Oh. Well, those I will require to be returned. Kind of has a hand out.
We
Kind of thought
didn't.
you'd want those.
Did we take those? I feel like we didn't.
Pretty sure we did.
Did we? Okay.
Who has
Gazrakul took him
Oh,
and did
right.
not tell us that he took him.
Oh,
Did I?
So should we
Yes.
rewind that? If I wouldn't have known about it.
Sure.
Because I'm really sure that you did take him, but you didn't tell us the importance or whatever you were doing. You were just like, yoink.
Crystals.
but we saw them taken, or we didn't. Like, we definitely didn't know what they were, but did we see the Gazrakul yoink something?
I believe so. That's what I remember at least.
What do the crystals do?
Those were tied to Zablina's emotions,
Oh
see if I can get my
yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I'm taking these.
Yep. Totally took those.
Yeah, there was one with, like, her good intentions for her people, and there was another one with her desire to know what her enemies were planning, I think.
Yes. Very well, of course, my lady. He hands her the happy, good feelings one first.
Thank you. Takes it and pockets it.
And then
Did you find any more?
this second one as well.
She'll take the second one.
And those are the only two we have come in contact with.
All right. Well, unless there's any more immediate business that needs taking care of, you are all in terrible shape. My guest quarters are available to you. They are upstairs.
Thank you very much. We do have some friends and allies who we left outside of your castle. May we collect them and bring them to the guest quarters as well?
You may.
Thank you. Eve stands up, looks around. Well, Veritas and Virgil, though. We'll need to go grab them too.
I left Virgil kind of simmering down.
Simmering down?
He was angry. Just needed some time to cool off.
Oh. Angry about? Anything in particular?
Was angry about Endelin getting away.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
There aren't many places she could run to.
I suppose. Oh, I should give you this, Your Majesty. Endelin was in her twisted version of Young. She was abducting people and turning them into wooden masks. That may be something you will want to reverse for your subjects. Maybe having this will help you do that.
She takes out the orb that she broke off of the chair that has all the runes inside and hands it to Zablina.
Zablina will take it.
That was on the machine that she was using to turn everyone into masks. So, if you mean to reverse that on everyone, maybe that'll help figure out how.
I see. Thank you. And do not forget that I, of course, owe all of you a favor. So dwell on that in your rest.
Right. Okay.
Looks at everyone.
Maybe we go grab our little party and bring them in, and then go grab Virgil and Veritas, give them a little time to themselves.
Seems like plan.
Okay.
Evil limp out.
Alright. You limp out towards the garden. I assume the whole party follows, or...
Sure.
Yeah.
Along the way, you'll find Virgil brewing on one of the balconies overlooking the storm below.
I think we were gonna grab him on the way back.
Alright. Well, you make note of him.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, you make your way outside and you see that the other partygoers, the ones that were frozen in time, have now joined in the lively conversation that was occurring. As if nothing had happened.
And their conversations don't seem to be about any odd occurrences, they're just normal party chatter.
It seems to be normal party chatter, talking about the realms that they're from.
Mm.
And the stories that led them here to seek the assistance of Zablina. Also, you notice that the water is flowing correctly. There are various... All the things that were frozen in time now have resumed as normal. And it's quite nice.
Maybe
But,
it's
but you
just that
do.
we don't tell him.
Oh. Oh, you mean the party goers?
But at least for now, it seems like they're having such a good time. Probably find out what happened eventually, but seems like a lot.
Yeah, it does. I wouldn't want to bring that down on them.
As you approach the pavilion, you do see that a good majority of the party that you have brought is also engaged somewhat in this conversation, with the exceptions of, obviously, the owlbear, Juniper, and Solly as well seems to be excluding themselves from the conversation. But they see you approach, and Solly and Juniper both get up to greet all of you. Is it done?
Yeah, it's done. Everything should be okay now.
Excellent. Maybe things will go a little bit back to normal. No more of these dry conversations.
Not a fan of parties.
I mean, not parties like these. All talking about business and debts and all sorts of stuff. I mean, the bear's at least a little interesting.
Oh, you've been talking to the bear.
Oh, yeah. That's Bodger.
Roger.
Glances over.
Yeah, seems like an interesting type.
Yeah, apparently he's here because some river spirit placed a curse on him.
Ah, that makes sense.
Looks at Juniper.
Hey, Juniper, you're home. Everything should be safe for you now.
Juniper kind of will nestle into you.
Oh,
Pats Juniper on the head.
and as for...
We were just kind of... We were just bringing Juniper here to safety, right?
Yeah, I think Juniper did just want to get back home. Which was here. I don't know where the stables are, but I'm sure you can find them, buddy.
Pats Juniper on the head again.
You pass them on the way here.
Oh.
They're kind of like over here-ish.
And as for the rest of us, we've been invited to stay at the castle's guest quarters. It'll be
Seems
nice
like
to stay
things-
somewhere safe.
I was gonna say, I think we can be less cautious now. With the right people in charge. We don't have to worry about, I don't know, getting tornadoed or that kind of stuff as much.
That hag is still wandering, so it is wise to be wary of a knife in the back. If Zeppelin is not watching.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Gazrakul,
Hmm?
please make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, okay. That's 11.
11.
I need to turn my
Uh,
beyond 20 back on.
You hear a slight rustling in a tree above you, and you are just able to move out of the way as you see an apple fall on the ground before you. There appears to be writing on it.
Oh. What does it say?
I'm always watching.
Oh,
Well, no harm in being careful anyway.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of weird, because what do we even do after this?
we have to get home.
Yeah.
That's the priority. We have to warn Waterdeep of what's incoming. Among other things. Plus, supposedly, Zablina had something that would help against you-know-who. So, if that's something that we can help with in some way, that's probably our duty as well. It's what Nistul would want, or Nyla, I suppose.
I guess that kind of leads to what I wanted to ask. I mean, we can all get a favor. I guess we'll probably all want to ask for something that's going to help with all that stuff that's coming up.
We do confess to hoping for some reward for these actions.
Well, Gazrakul, if there's any time to get what you've been asking us to help you get, I guess this would be it. Right?
We are glad you still remember this promise.
I remember all the deals and agreements that I make these days. As for me, I think I know what I'm asking for. Puts a hand on the bag of holding.
Oh, what's that? Says Sully.
I made a mistake that cost someone I love dearly. It's my responsibility to undo that.
Well, I mean, is it bad? It sounds bad.
It's pretty bad.
Oh.
But don't worry about it. I'm sure Zablina can help fix that up. No problem. Anyway, we've all had quite a long journey. You guys ready to get some rest? And get out of this dry party? Looking at Solly.
I mean, we can get back to, getting in a room somewhere else with just us. Or no, that was kind of half a joke. A very good one. We should. I mean, they're probably fine, but we should collect Virgil, Veritas. Make sure Veritas is okay. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Glances around. Did Chelavi come with us?
She did.
Alright, then let's go.
As we're walking back, Eva's gonna make, prolonged eye contact with Chelavi if she can. Try and catch her eye.
Yeah?
Hey, I'm sorry for what happened back there with Morgana.
I mean, it was bound to happen.
I guess. Veritas is gonna need you, you know.
I know. But it wasn't like we were never not going to lose someone.
I guess.
At the end of it all, even with how bad he is, still our father.
Eve glances up at Chelavi's face at this. Is there any hint of affection there?
Roll an insight check.
Nat 20.
Natural 20. You see a mixture. There is pain. There is grief. It looks like at one point as well, there may have been love.
Pats Chelavi's forearm as they walk.
I'm sure it's complicated.
Right.
Well, just remember that there are people around you who care about you. No matter what the complicated issues are in some of your other bonds and relations, alright?
She gives you a smile. Thank you.
Anytime.
She'll kind of lean down and give you a hug.
Oh,
Eve will give her a pat on the back.
Right. Well, walking back down the hallway now with your entourage, you do eventually once again pass by where Virgil is brewing.
Actually, while they were doing their thing, I did want to cast sending to someone.
Ah. To whom would you like to send that sending?
Will the Feywild.
Will the Feywild. Well. And what would you like to send?
A shadowy raven appears in Virgil's hands, and he's kind of just talking to it, and he just speaks to this, and he says, "Well, it's Virgil. You dealt with most of the hags. Moongrave got away. Be careful. And please tell me you and the kids are all right." It's exactly 25 words.
Alright. You send your raven, and a few moments later it returns. We're okay. Thank you for everything. The fog is already fading. They'll get to go home. And that's the end of the message.
That kind of brightens his mood up a lot, actually. And he'll just be waiting in the hallway for them since he saw him walk by earlier.
Right. Well, they return with the full might of the party.
You doing a little bit better?
I am now. Yeah. How's everything going in the ballroom?
I don't really know about the ballroom, but I mean, down outside, seems like most of those folks don't even realize anything was wrong. It's a good sign. Apparently, party's kind of boring.
That's a shocker. I thought this place was supposed to be all fun, joyful, and cheerful.
I don't know. It'd be a matter of opinion.
Do we see Ertas coming into view?
Well, to that, I have to say that technically this conversation is happening here.
Ah.
I just didn't bother moving tokens.
Yeah.
That is my bad.
Looks like we're one short. Where's Veritas at?
It was just having a moment.
I have to ask, as Veritas walks back out to the main part of the ballroom, do I in fact see Zyblina?
You do. You see that she seems to be speaking with a few of the what you would assume to be workers in the palace, giving them various orders, telling them to start cleaning up the place.
Veritas is looking at her, waiting for her to get done with the rest of the people asking her looking for a moment.
She gives a half dozen commands to different people, and without looking at you, says, "Are you going to keep staring, or are you going to say something?"
Party
After
continues
taking-
staring.
After taking a kind of like a breath and exhales, and not in a cute voice, but his serious voice, "You really hate my kind.
I seen what your kind are capable of. What they have and will do. Especially as long as your father commands them."
Right. As long as my father commands them." Zablena, I wish my people freedom from him. And there'll need to be someone to look after and guide the rest of my people when that time comes.
Roll a persuasion check. If the time comes,
It will
do you
come.
think that should be you?
I believe so in my heart. I want to show the others that we are all not such terrible monsters. I would ask for my wish, Zablina, to gain that knowledge, that insight, so I can properly lead my people. I know that I don't have what it takes right now as I am.
Well, I can't guarantee that, but I could give you a chance. As a potion appears in her hand. This may give you the mental acuity that you seek. It may also destroy your mind. Would you be willing to risk that for your people?
If I couldn't risk my own life for my people, what kind of leader would I be? Veritas gets closer to take the potion from Zablina's hands.
Alright. She hands it to you.
he will uncork it and drink it.
Alright. Firstly, give me a Constitution saving throw. Okay.
Okay.
That was determined whether or not I was going to be nice and give you advantage on the next roll. So, you know what the next roll is.
How would you like me to roll it?
If you happen to have a d20 on hand, you may roll that.
I do, indeed. I will take the one that I was given as a gift from Jason.
Alright. Best of luck. As you roll a d20, that will become your new intelligence score.
Oh,
I swear if I get a dumber sword than I have.
Send help.
Ah!
huh?
Huh?
Anything's better than a 6, right?
There are 5 numbers not better.
Okay.
Hey!
Alright.
Hey!
Dude, you're smarter than me.
Oh
And-
my god.
You're smarter than Eve, too.
Probably smarter than most of us.
Great, cool. I got a pompous sword that knows all.
Your intelligence score now equals that of 15. Congratulations.
Oh my.
Alright, well, when we get back and steal that crown from that cow, who's wearing it now?
That is so trippy to look at.
That's why I like having those kinds of rolls on an actual d20.
Oh man, what is smart Veritas gonna be like?
Can't help it but have the scene from Wizard of Oz with Scarecrow. He just sees math equations in his head for like the next hour. Exactly.
Well, I'll say, as this happens, the rest of you enter this chamber to collect Veritas, and you see that Veritas has downed some kind of potion, and seems to be kind of undulating a little.
Oh,
What just happened? Yep. I'll run over to Veritas.
I granted him his wish.
Wish? What? What are you talking about? Wish? What wish did she grant you? He has a concerned look on his face.
Well, I suppose you weren't here. You each get a wish for saving my kingdom and myself. Archfey can't go around owing favors. But I merely gave him what he wished for. A chance.
After a few moments of that, kind of like the health up form of Veritas, restoring a bit and finally settling down. It stands up fully. I'm all good there. Don't worry, Virgil. I am just fine. lot of things need to be done, and we don't have all the time in the world to waste.
But that's right.
Shit.
We still have to worry about time.
Yes.
Um, Your Majesty,
Hmm?
when we are going back via the Blue Veil, will that be able to send us back not too long a time away from when we left?
Well, that depends on your definition of what is too much time. It should send you to within a week of when you left.
Oh, okay, alright, that's reasonable. Much more reasonable than months or years, I guess. Hopefully that'll be quick enough.
Yes, and I do mean within a week. You could end up before you left. In which case, I would ask, try not to cause a paradox.
Oh. Before? Oh,
Well, yes.
that would be interesting and great, actually, because that would guarantee that nothing would have happened in Waterdeep yet, right, guys?
Oh, we could get a head start.
Yeah, and it's not like we were in Waterdeep within the past week, so we wouldn't run into ourselves. Wow, that's weird to think about.
Indeed,
But would you
that
have
would be a point.
interacted? Would you have interacted with anyone that was in Waterdeep at the time?
Not oh,
Yes.
fuck.
That's could be quite the problem. Eve.
Yeah. We did send a message. What was it? 2 messages? 2 messages. To my mother and father. Does that mean that we couldn't interact with them at all when we get back?
To be safe, you probably don't want to.
But they need to be warned about what's coming to Waterdeep. There's a great, terrible threat. Still Habity is planning to attack there. We can't just not warn them.
Eve. Don't worry. If we do come back in time, that means we'll have time to prepare for this invasion that my father's bringing. And then when the time's right, we'll inform your parents.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, we can do that. Good idea. Veritas.
And was that the only people that you interacted with that were from Waterdeep?
I mean, unless you count Miss Stool.
Zintara,
Oh,
the agent who was after Virgil.
okay. We don't have any way of knowing where they'd be, do we?
I have a question. If people we've interacted with before don't recognize us, would that matter in this regard?
as long as you don't change anything important, things that would lead to you coming back, to leaving. Otherwise, it should probably go under the radar. It is a dangerous thing to muddle with time. There's a reason it doesn't exist anymore. At least officially.
It doesn't exist anymore. But
Yes. Long time ago, Mistra had different ideas on what magic could be. It's a long, complicated thing. But basically, magic was basically unlimited, and it proved to be her own folly. So when she built it back up, she made sure that it wouldn't go past a certain threshold of power.
by forming the weave?
A reforming of the weave, making it a bit more structured.
Huh. All right. We will do our very best not to abuse that power.
I think I'll go to the guest quarters. I need some rest.
Yeah. I think we all do.
Alright. She points over at the other set of doors. Through those doors, up the stairs, down the hallway, take a left. It'll be the doorways on the right. And left.
Veritas will follow those instructions.
Does anyone not follow those instructions?
So we're heading up there, then we're heading up.
Guys are cool. We'll stay behind until everyone leaves.
Alright. Everyone begins to leave, but it is obvious that Gajrakul does not follow immediately. Does this change anyone's course of action?
I don't think so.
Well, alright then. Most of you head up the stairs, and Gazrakul, you stay behind, as Ziblin looks to you.
Our Lady, we did not immediately recognize your current moniker upon coming to this realm, but having learned of the other names you may have gone by in other lives, we three are avid students of demonology and would seek a boon from, if not who you are now, then who you have been.
She furrows her brow at that. And I'm gonna need a persuasion check from you.
Gosh, I'm so good at those.
Okay.
That's good for me.
You don't piss her off. Well, unfortunately for you, a part of my past that I've sought to put behind me, and would recommend that you don't bring up. Demons are terrible things best left to their own devices.
Of course, no offense intended. Thank you for your time and consideration.
And they'll take off after everyone else.
All right. All of you head upstairs and eventually find the hallway with which she speaks. Gazrakul trailing a little bit behind, and you see that there are there are 6 doors, 5 of which you can tell seem to be the guest quarters. But there's one at the end of the hallway that she did not mention.
Is Sully with us? Travel along with us?
She is. The whole entourage is following.
Entourage.
All 20 NPCs that we collected.
Right.
Gotta catch 'em all.
There are actually a few exceptions. Your 3 guides have actually split off from the group. They said that they had business that they needed to attend to with the castle itself. Let's see. Buddy goes with Eve. Cole goes with Gazrakul. T is with Bosch. Helps with Sully and Wilnan. Am I forgetting anyone?
Shelby?
Tia.
Yeah, they're
Tia's a
there.
bunch.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, Chelaby is with. I'm sorry, what?
Star.
Star.
Oh,
Oh,
there.
yes. Yes, Star is with you.
So, as we make it to like the rooms, Veritas would turn back and kind of like put like a knee down, look at Sully, and in his pocket, he pulls out this beautiful purple crystal that he got from the Dark Elves, the Darklings. I was planning to give this to you, Sully, as a gift.
Oh, wow.
Haven't had the right time to do it.
And real quick, I missed exactly what it was. I heard Darklings.
Oh, the merchants?
Yes.
The crystal that he bought from them.
The Feywild Shard?
The
Yes.
Feywild Shard.
Yes.
Eh,
He is going to hand that over to Sully.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Of course. It gives a warm smile and like pats her on the head.
It does kind of. Huh. Thank you, yeah. She'll like pin it onto her travel cloak. Yeah, this feels good.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Of course.
I hope you know what you've done.
I know what I've done.
We'll find out.
Veritas has chosen chaos this day.
Stands up and opens one of the the door on the left.
You may choose which door you would like to go in.
All right. Opening this one.
Hmm? I'm sorry, which one are you
Oh.
choosing?
Oh, I guess this one then.
Alright. It is a white guest room. You have a bed, dresser, a little, oh god, what's it called? The vanity sort of thing.
Oh, the vanity mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opens it up and says, anyone wants to share the room with me? There'll be more than enough space.
Yeah. These guest rooms are like 5-star hotel rooms, essentially. Anyone else want to pick a room, or?
Sure. I think I'll have Bosch wander over to the room here.
Alright. You wander into the black room.
Okay.
Huh. Not really my aesthetic, but I mean, we're gonna use hospitality.
You stole Virgil's room.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the pink room is still left.
I'm waiting for that one. Be like, dibs!
I will go back to the door.
Like, hey Virgil,
Oh.
I think this one's yours. I mean, you can say no if you disagree, but I mean, come on.
It is kind of you. It also fits Gazra cool, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, they could be roommates.
It's true.
Yes, we can have a lovely slumber party where we'll discuss boys and human things and undeath or something.
You guys have so much in common. I mean, come on.
Is there a lot of room for activities?
So much room.
I do go into the room to see it, to be like, what the hell is he talking about?
The minute he goes into the room, Gazrakul goes to the farthest one at the very end of the hallway.
The pink room.
Inside that room, it is a lovely shade of red. Bright, vibrant red. Kind of lightish in color.
We'll take it.
But I would like you to roll a perception check, Gaz.
I am so good at those too. I.
18.
Ooh.
You feel this slight tugging in your pockets. Kind of pulling you in the opposite direction towards the northern end of the hallway.
We'll follow the tug.
Do you check what it is that's tugging?
Yes.
It is the candle that Bosch gave you.
Ooh boy, yep, we follow exactly where it needs us to go.
Wow, God's got a pep in his step all of a sudden.
How far north?
To the end of the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
You come to a set of double doors that has the uh, that has what looks to be a sculpted head of a cat, and as you approach, it purrs. Why, hello there.
Greetings, door. What shall we name you? What have you named yourself?
I am Percival.
May the sun shine on your, panels, Percival.
Oh. Do you treat all doors this way, or just the cute ones?
Only the ones with such bright bones and well-carved wood grain.
Oh. Well, what can I do for you?
Well, our friends are seeking places to stay for the night, and we walked into this lovely red room, which we thought would be good, but our friend here, and they pull out the candle, seems hell bent on bringing us over here.
Oh. Oh my. Got a bit of wax?
We esteem that it is no ordinary wax.
Well, if you want to get past, unfortunately you will need to... Well, normally it'd be a password, but honestly that's so dull and so last year. So instead, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it satisfyingly. Do you think you can do that?
We are prepared to try.
Which has more power, the sword or the quill?
The quill.
Why?
With a sword, you may stab one man. With an enchanted sword, you may stab 5. With a quill, you can transcribe the mysteries of the universe and wield all the power in it at your hand.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Yay. Let's hope I don't get 2 1s.
I thought you were gonna say, and with the quill, I can stab everyone.
18.
Yes, I do believe you're right. Well, come in. And the door opens for you.
Hallway.
Yep.
Where does the candle tug now?
To the right.
We're just gonna follow it.
Thank you, Percival.
No problem.
And then God is
As you walk by that door is one of the enchanted doors emblazoned with the stag, and as such opens automatically to your approach. And inside that room, it's odd. It's a really, really large room, but only has one thing inside. A 3-leveled mahogany table stands in the middle of this chamber, with 3 gleaming bell jars resting on the table's separate tiers, each one containing a visage wreathed in mist.
Oh, this
Mahogany,
is
you say?
this is too poignant to ignore. We've got to look at these with all 3 heads. Each head peers into a different jar.
Well, in the lowest jar, you see the depiction of a young woman, jet black hair, with that tattoo that you know Tasha would have. In the center jar, you see the depiction of the woman you met downstairs, Zablina. And in the third jar, you see a silver-haired hag. It also has that tattoo under its eye.
They look at each other and mentally mind the rule of 3, future, present, past. The past comes and the future goes. Oh man, what do I do with this? It's just a display piece.
I don't know. How many buttons you want to push?
Are there buttons?
You do not see any buttons. Do you wish to investigate closer?
We'll give it a shot.
Alright, roll investigation.
I'm good at that. I should be. It's okay.
Alright. You kind of hover over them, kind of examining every bit of them. One thing you notice is that the jars are actually not part of the table, but they are stuck fast. And also, when you touch the jars, the image inside swirls and shifts, and instead, you see in the lowest jar a much younger Gazrakul, the middle as you appear now, and the highest. You see yourself, scales a bit molted a bit, things drooping a bit more, but still looks like you, just quite older.
Surely a fate to be avoided. Well, no time for this trinket. Candle, continue leading.
And so they'll call it there. They've satisfied that interest.
It seems to be pulling you towards the end of the hallway here.
Heidi, what's behind this door?
Well, before we open that, the rest of the party, you did notice that Gazrakul left and went that way. Just asking out of curiosity.
Guys always be shady. Veritas gets sleep.
Would any particularly nosy characters wish to investigate?
Eve was kind of put off by the fact that they immediately went somewhere that they're not supposed to go. She'd probably poke her head in at least.
What do you mean? Percival told us we could.
Is the door still open?
It is. You look down the hallway and you see Gazra Kul coming out of this doorway and heading down the hallway towards the end.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Well, you see, the red room didn't really fit the vibe we were searching for, so we're just making sure that the one we're looking for isn't down here.
But I think we were specifically told that it wasn't. You only told us to go in the side rooms. You plotted to get us all kicked out before we had our rest.
Well, Percival let us through. We couldn't not take his offer.
Who the fuck is Percival?
Hi!
Ah! Oh, hello. Oh, don't scare me like that. Oh, well, sorry to interrupt you guys. Gazrakul, Percival.
Yes.
I feel like we're not supposed to be in here.
We'll be right back. We just have to make sure you understand.
You didn't nick anything, did you?
No, but there is something interesting in this room if you'd like to see.
Squints her eyes a little bit, but is curious.
Nothing harmful, but definitely an interesting trinket.
Guess it can't hurt to make sure you didn't touch anything.
Are Gazrakul's faces still in the jars?
They are.
What the actual what?
As soon as she walks in, they go back to the door.
Well,
The jars are there.
Well, why does she have what?
squints inside.
Why? What?
Kind of walks all around them.
We get in before she gets done.
You will, but I want to resolve what she's doing.
Go ahead.
She'll probably pass a hand over one while she's examining them.
Alright. As you touch the jars, you see them all swirl. To you, it's a bit interesting. The middle one, as expected, shows your current visage. The lower one shows you, but older.
What?
And the last one, the top one, doesn't show a face at all.
Oh,
Instead, all there is silver fire.
he stares at them. It was obvious from Gazrakul's which ones were the younger versions and which ones were the older ones, right?
Correct.
What? Why?
Walks over and squints into the silver fire searchingly.
That doesn't make any sense.
Roll insight. A word comes to your mind looking at these flames. Soulfire.
He takes 2 steps back. You were saying.
And guys are cool. You open up the door. And you open up into a spacious bedchamber that is lightly furnished. An oval mirror in a black wood frame is mounted on the east wall, and a chess set with jet and bloodstone playing pieces rests atop an octagonal table in the southwest corners, flanked by 2 comfortable high-backed chairs. A 4-poster bed with black silk sheets and drapes stands in the middle of this room. Because, you know, chaotic evil, that's the position of that. Lounging on the bed are 2 creatures, each with the lower body of a lion. One has the head and upper torso of a woman, the other of a man. And the woman looks to you and asks a very simple question. Are you important?
Yes, we are.
Oh, excellent. It gets off the bed and starts coming towards you. Tell me, we are looking for information about the owner of these bedchambers. About
Indeed.
their past, so to speak. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
We might, but what is this information worth to you? No figure of importance would give out valuable things for nothing.
Well, I'm certain they would offer it to a friend, and I need Gashar to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, goody.
This is versus a charm effect if you have something for that.
I'm gonna verify. I have too many features. Okay, I may or may not. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it anyway.
That is a perception check.
I'm so smart.
A 15. You feel the mutterings of a charm try to intrude upon your mind, but you are able to shrug it off. She gets a rather annoyed look on her face.
We don't blame you for trying. And you are a very attractive creature, but it's going to take more than a simple charm to get what you're looking for.
Getting a better look on her, I'd like you to also make an Arcana check.
Alright, I'm very good at that.
21. You actually recognize this creature as a Lamia.
Ooh,
And-
that's a demon.
They're actually not demons, they're monstrosities. However, they are created by the demon lord Gratz.
So happy right now. But they hide that.
Well, I suppose you are more important than you look to resist my charms, but we still require this information and do know other ways of getting such information.
Indeed. You are a Lamius, yes?
We are.
Well, what are you willing to offer in exchange for the information? We
Well,
are admirers of your creator.
oh. Well, then surely you would know one of his domains, and they're going to try to touch you. You know that might be a bad idea.
Not gonna let that happen. That's getting misty stepped.
Well, actually, she's gonna roll to hit.
She can certainly try.
She got a 24.
No, she got a 1.
Ah!
Oh.
As fate bends to your ends, you are able to escape her clutches at the moment. You know, the more you run, the harder it is to give you the pleasure you so clearly deserve. As you would obviously
You,
know that Gratz is a demon lord of pleasure.
we thank you for the offer, but we seek such things on our own terms. We need it not granted by lackey.
Well, unless you can prove that you have something of grand importance towards our cause, there's not much I could even promise you.
Why are you looking for this information, might we ask?
It is simply our quest.
They pull out the candle and just start kind of fidgeting with it, like tossing it back and forth in their hands, considering how to go about this.
You pull out the candle. Unlike a persuasion check with advantage.
That's a natural 20.
Well,
Oh.
she gets kind of a whiff of the candle. Ooh, you have something very interesting there. Why, in exchange for that, I think I can tell you a little more. That would be good down payment.
Well, we know exactly what we have here. And we are amenable to a trade. You see, we've been looking for reliable servants similar to yourselves. We would never dream of impressing something as impressive as you into a partnership with us, but surely you have some compatriots whose names you might accidentally share. Anyone that you really don't like.
Well, now that is an interesting request. You must think of yourself very important to want to risk something like that.
We are practiced in the summoning of your people. We simply are intelligent enough not to try it without some guarantees on our end. You understand, of course.
I suppose a name might be worth the trade.
Preferably a Balgur or a mighty Tanaruk. Either of these would suit the purposes we have in mind, for we face many foes and would find their assistance very helpful and definitely worth not only the candle, but whatever information you're seeking about these bedchambers.
Well, it just so happens that we do know of a Tanaruk. One that would be willing to accept the invitations of such a gracious host.
Well then, I'll take their true name in writing and give you what that you seek.
Alright. Do you have something to write upon?
Sure do. I'm a wizard. You guys are cool. Holds out just parchment.
Alright. She takes the parchment and whatever writing utensil you hand her, writes something down on it, but then clutches it and holds her hand out.
Very well. Here is the candle, but the information will be given once I hold the parchment.
Agreed. Takes the candle, hands you the paper.
And I'll read the parchment. Is it legible abyssal, like this is a name?
Yeah, it is in Abyssal. But you do you understand Abyssal, yes?
Yeah, I read and write. Yep. And talk.
So yes, you get a name.
Sweet. Okay, so they, once receiving this name, switch to conversing in Abyssal. And we'll tell them, these bedchambers belong to Natasha Yaga, the mistress of this castle. And
do you
if
have
you
proof?
Indeed. Behind me there's a room. To the... Goodness. If you go far enough back, when we were in there, it seems to be... It changes depending on who is in the room. But it contains the face of a past, a present, and a future. But you came to the Feywild, so you must know the mistress is... She carries the name Zablina here. But we have opened doors in the palace that have been sealed magically to her true name. Therefore, I can guarantee that is the true name because we have made it through these doors.
if all I have is your testimony, then I will need a bit more proof from you. Just to be certain that you're not lying to me. And do not worry, it is not me that you're convincing, but my lord. If I do not perform the proper proceedings, then I'm the one that gets skinned.
Of course. Whatever you require. Better yet, we have our own method that might suffice. We are well skilled not only in demonology, but divination. We can make a connection with the higher being of your choice, and we can simply ask them if I am lying.
The only issue is the only higher being I answer to is Grask.
I would be humbled to speak to the Lord of Pleasure.
And that would be potentially problematic still. It is nothing to fear what our procedure is. You need merely not resist. Do you swear that everything you told me was the truth? And she casts suggestion on you. Do you resist the spell?
No.
Alright. The spell washes over you, and you are compelled to tell whether or not you lied to her or not.
We do swear by the words we have spoken.
Well, this is most excellent, brother. We will return at once to inform our lord. Do you wish to be known as our assistant, little wizard?
We would be most pleased if you would carry our fondest felicitations to your lord.
Very well. Well, come, brother. We have important business to deal. And both of the Lamias head over to the mirror on the wall. She inscribes some runes into the paneling of it and slips into it and disappears into the blackness of the abyss. How's the rest of the party doing?
I am laying down in bed.
Excellent. Bosch and Virgil, have you decided on bedrooms or?
He'll take this one if Bosch doesn't want it. Sorry, I'm just kind of reeled back with how fucked we are.
I mean, this place is just you. Like, think you ought to be here.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good look on Tia. No offense.
Eh. It's not completely unlike my look. Opposites do complement. But it does better suit you. So, enjoy the room. Maybe we'll find one that's green, Bosch.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look.
Can we find a room that's green?
Checking all the rooms, you do find a green room. It is obnoxiously green.
Just the kind of green I like.
Yeah. It's very forest-like, I'd say.
Hmm?
You know, just reminds me of the forest. You know, being surrounded by all the green and stuff.
Oh, it's kind of nice.
Ash is going to get out the file that Zablina gave him as the memory. And, just going to look at it for a while.
Well, I guess there's not even a decision at this point. I do have the feeling that this is the last thing that I'm going to find out.
Well, there are always the things you weren't there for.
Yeah. This time, I'm not going to be hitting anybody, hopefully, over this, or getting kidnapped by a scary dude.
Well, I'm here in case anything does happen, but I think we're safe.
Yeah, I think so.
He is going to uncork the bottle and drink whatever's in there.
All right. You take in your memories, and it's pretty intense because it is many, many years worth of memories that come rushing back all at once. A few stick out in the flood of them. One of which was the inciting incident that led you into the service of the Winter Queen, was the very beginning of the Fomerian War, where Fomerians attacked your village and left your parents unfortunately killed. Later on, you see more important visions as well, such as the time that you actually met with Aurora on one of the more important missions, a joint mission between the Summer and Winter Courts. Eventually, flashing forward, another important event, the day of birth for your daughter. And eventually, the more clarity, partially. You get more clarity around that day that you that the spell was cast upon you. But it still is missing probably the most crucial piece of that memory, and that is who cast that spell on you. That is still missing. Like this perfectly cut hole where they should be. Flashing forward again, you meeting with the Winter Queen after your desperate flee from the Summer Court, carrying your child. In exchange for the safety of your child, because you do not know who or what was involved in the murder of your wife. The only person that you could trust is the one that gave you the power, being that of the Winter Queen. For you know that despite her heart being cold, her word is her bond. And so, in exchange for the memories that you've now imbibed, she would keep your daughter safe from the Summer Court. And eventually this leads you to coming here to Prismere and meeting with Zyblina at the behest of the Winter Queen. And she is the one that erases the memories from you.
Would, with my background knowledge of how that deal worked, this imply that Nifedora is now in danger because the deal has been revoked?
I'd say roll an insight check with advantage.
Okay.
So, the short answer is yes, but you also, through your recent adventures, know that Nymphadora has made a place for herself within the Winter Court. So while your deal will not protect her anymore from the Summer Court, her position just might. It's certainly... it will buy time, for sure, at the very least.
Somewhere to start.
Right. It's not cause to go rushing off to the Winter Court to save her. Just as another thing to put on the list of things to do.
And I imagine, while I'm looking stupidly in the distance, Tia is waiting for me to assess all this.
She kind of has an arm wrapped around you, just kind of waiting patiently.
It was a really intense experience, and I have work to do. Still, and this has been really weird because it's been so much for getting here, and like I don't know what to do. But we still have a lot. And I still don't know who it was. It was, messing around who is the person who did so much to me. That's just gone now. Oh. All the suspicion, I think, points toward Greymalkin, because it just, all these things keep adding up for her always being in the place that's important. Morgana having her book, and obviously the two of them have been working together, but I don't know if I'm ready to assign the blame to her yet. I would have been wrong before with how I'd read things.
I just want to know why. Why go to such lengths to destroy us? Who we were. But it's been a long day.
You know what?
And I'll like look directly in her face.
We also, though it's been really hard, we've been lucky. Come through, and we have each other. Lost a lot, but if with you.
I'm glad. I'm glad we found each other again. And for the first time, in some ways.
It's complicated, but
No kidding.
it's really good too.
Unless Tia has more to say, I'm fine with leaving that there.
Yes. We leave Bosch and Tia in the bedroom.
I wasn't taking it there, but yes, they are literally in the bedroom.
They are literally in a bedroom doing whatever it is that they would wish to do.
Sleeping, preferably.
Like sleeping.
Like sleeping, yes.
We need to get her a long rest in.
Long rests are important. Alright. Is Virgil doing any contemplation before resting, or?
No, he's just playing with Star.
Oh.
Kind of takes him back to his guard days when stray cats or stray animals would wander up for bits of food.
Oh yeah. And eventually Star will start purring very loudly. And you two just have a nice time there. Eve, you've had an interesting... Well, interesting.
Huh?
What do you do?
Eve just spends a while staring individually into each one of these jars and trying to process and being really exhausted and overly stressed by everything that's been happening. And after a while, she'll just kind of turn around and walk out.
Before
and
you
find
do,
what.
before you do, roll an investigation check.
Not great.
12. There's something odd about the older you, but you can't quite place your finger on it. It's just something that doesn't quite add up about it.
She spends some time walking around it and just trying to memorize what it looks like. And she'll play a little riff on her viol and conjure up a minor illusion form of it and work on getting it just right until she's satisfied that she can replicate what she's seeing.
Alright. Spending more time, I'll let you reroll. And especially studying it.
Worse.
You have a nice headshot of your older self.
Wonderful. It's more so she can show other people later in case they see something that she missed.
Alright.
And she will walk out and try and find whichever room is unoccupied.
For guest bedrooms, you have your choice of red versus blue.
Well, blue, obviously.
It's very blue.
Very, very blue. Like the ocean and Waterdeep.
Yeah. I imagine Eve will crawl out of bed and just be
Fucking
done,
die.
Be done
Yes.
today.
Correct.
Alright. Gazra, cool. Do you do anything?
Very casually stroll back to find a suitable room for the night.
You find yourself in the last room available, the red room. It is
Very
also
well, please.
the smallest room.
That's fine. Totally fine.
But alright. Alright. You all bed down for a well-deserved long rest. You may go ahead and mark that on your sheets.
Cool.
Finally.
Hitting the butt.
Hitting the button.
Ah, hitting the button never felt so good.
Eventually, in the morning, you are awakened by knocks on each of your doors as Goblin Room Service comes and wakes all of you, informing you that a breakfast has been prepared in the dining hall and is offered to lead you there.
Out the door. Oh, and help would have disappeared by now.
Ah, yes. Yes, but all of you are led down the stairs, past the barroom. You can see that already great efforts have been done to clean up the debris that has been left behind. Eventually finding your way into a grand ballroom, but being led to an outer balcony where you see Zablina sitting in one of the many chairs and tables. Well, morning to all of you.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I assume you all rested well?
As
Indeed.
well as can be expected.
A lot still weighs heavy on the mind.
Well, time will heal all things, eventually. But obviously you have fulfilled your objective for coming here, but I'm still left with my fulfillment to my obligation to all of you. And so I must ask for your favors. It's just not a good idea for an archfey to have favors roaming the multiverse. Lots of things out there that want to take them to advantage. I'm sure you understand.
Quite.
I get it, I do.
I've already asked for my favor. Virgil, do you know what your favor would be?
Still kind of pondering that.
If I may,
He will walk up to where Zablina sits and reach into the bag of holding and take out the box that was given to her by Scabatha with the beating heart inside.
She gives you a curious look.
I made a foolish mistake when we were attempting to deal with the hags here, and unwittingly allowed one of them to trick me into making an agreement, I suppose. In this box is supposedly the heart of one I love. I would simply ask of you, please, Your Majesty, if you could just restore this heart to its owner and return them to normal. That would be more than enough for me.
That may be possible. I need merely to know who it is. As she gestures for you to hand the box over.
She does.
Alright. And she will open the box. Inside, the beating heart. And she waves her hand over it, some identifying magic. And I need to roll something. Okay. Give me an insight check. Alright. You watch as she waves her hand over it. Her brow sort of furrows a little bit. I'm afraid, as she closes the box, that I cannot return this person's heart.
What? Why not?
Well, it needs to be physically returned to them.
Ugh. Alright, I can do that, but if that is done, then it should return them to normal, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, alright, that's...
But I would like to ask you one question.
Hmm.
Who did that?
Who did this? Scabatha Nightshade. When we were visiting, quote unquote, her home.
I see. But you have already dealt with her, yes?
Yes.
Very well. Well, ask another favor.
Oh. Uh. Alright.
Slowly puts the box back in the bag.
There have been many things that I've wanted so far in my brief life, but I cannot abide the people around me being harmed and whisked away and my being unable to do anything about it. I would wish for the ability to make people around me safe in some way. Please.
You wish for a safe place. Very well. I will grant that to you. Boop. You feel a surge of magic enter you. You now have the ability to cast Magnificent Mansion once per day.
That's a spell. I hope you have
Can't
that
wait
40.
to hear the description.
Hope you have that 40 paragraph document
Fucking
laid out.
god, that thing is the longest spell ever.
Oh, okay. He blinks a couple of times.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
No problem.
The biggest thing about it is it contains sufficient food to serve a 9-course banquet for up to 100 people.
Oh boy, that'll be just
Or-
enough for Veritas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, so, feed Veritas.
I am ecstatic.
All the chickens.
I will also mention this is not what she asked me.
I was literally just looking up a GIF for that was a fucking lie.
I mean, I essentially gave you the same thing, but a little bit better, honestly.
I guess so. I can cast it how many times?
You may cast it once per day.
That's pretty good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, once you cast it, just wait 24 hours, you can do it again.
That's
Yeah.
pretty nice. For the
Doesn't
record,
last that long.
Yeah.
what I had asked for was the Rod of Security.
That's a nice one. Yeah, I was looking at that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It does essentially the same thing, except, once you use it, you can't use it for 10 days.
I even asked Max specifically if I don't say the name of the item itself and flavor it so that the item would grant that request, will you give me that item? And Max was like, sure.
Refresh your sheet.
Okay, thanks.
Because I put it in your feeds.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I originally asked for a headband of intellect,
Oh, really?
and we decided let's do gambling.
Everything's better with gambling.
Right. Sure, you may make wishes and desires, and I will consider granting them. Or maybe I'll give you something of equal value. Something that's not quite that.
Oh my god.
Did I not give you a rod of security?
The name of the feat is Rod of Security, winky face. Guys. As you were.
The rest of you?
Ladies
Oh.
of Linen. Oh, Bosch, please, go ahead.
Still putting things together. I'm sure you have all this stuff worked out going ahead.
Ladies of Lina, you know we face a terrible threat as a party. The being known as Stillhavity is a great threat on the material plane. And even after we defeat Stillhavity, a more personal antagonist exists for us after his defeat. Though a clone of Manchu. So even were we to topple one great evil, we will face yet another behind him. We seek more power. Whatever you feel would be best to aid us in the defeat of these great evils, we would humbly accept.
You seek power. What first or second level spell does Gazrakul like the most?
Chromatic orb.
Cool, you can cast it at will as a first level spell.
I can what?
You can cast it at will. It is now a cantrip for you.
Ooh. That's good.
Pretty good.
That's some good shit.
That is a bit lower level signature spell. That's like what is
Yeah.
it, level 20 for a wizard?
No, it's level 14.
17, I think.
No.
14? Oh.
No, it's like 14 or 13 for wizard.
What is?
Signature spell.
Yeah, essentially where you could choose a first or second level spell and cast it at will.
Oh.
Yeah, normally
Gotcha.
normally it's a 14th level ability, but
No, signature spell is a level 20.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's for the third level spell that you can cast once per day, and it doesn't have to be part of your prepared spell list, I think. But there is a
Gotcha.
but I'm almost certain there's a 14th level ability that allows you to have
Oh, that's actually level 18 spell mastery.
yeah, because what it's
Because level 14 you can get your last ability in your subclass.
oh right, it is level 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14, he'll get his third portent.
Then how the hell did Abria? She must have
Bullshit.
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 Sabria, first off.
I am the rules.
Unless No, there is one way she did it, maybe. She must have taken Eldritch Adept and taken Armor of Shadows.
Better yet, we'd like to adjust our choice. We didn't say Chromatic Orb, we said Disguise Self.
Oh, okay. That's an even easier one. We can just go ahead and add the Eldritch Adept feat and put on the
Nice.
Mask of Many Faces.
I like that.
Just to keep it simple.
That's fine.
Saves me from building another.
Thank you.
Alright. Any other?
Well, now I don't know. No, I'm conflicted and feel kind of bad because you were all are doing stuff that's going to help everyone. I don't know. First,
I mean, Disguise Self has self in the name, so...
I guess you're not wrong. I mean, you know my family situation's complicated. I don't know.
Yes.
First, I was gonna ask. I mean, what if? Last time I saw Nifedora, that she didn't even speak to me. I want to be there for my family. I want to be a good father, but I think that's something that's just going to be something I've got to learn to do. And I gotta say, I really appreciate you helping me to remember all that stuff that I lost. But it's important to find out the missing part. It's important to find out who did this to me, who sent me down this spiral and ruined the things that I had.
Ah, yes. That, unfortunately, was not me that removed that memory.
I think it's going to be important, I guess not just for me, but for all of us to know who that was. A hunch that it's connected with whatever's bad stuff's going on at the Winter Court. I mean, now that I know everything, then yeah, by the way, guys, turns out I made a deal with the Queen of Air and Darkness. She was gonna take care of Nifedora, whether she was safe, and in return I had to forget all of that stuff that I'd forgotten.
Oh,
But now you know.
I know. So, I mean, he's gonna be okay for now, you know. Just, yeah, we're gonna have to do something about it. With that, no, you can't just wave a hand and find out, show me, but something that you can help us find.
You wish assistance to know who did that to you. Is that what you were asking for?
That's right. think I need to know
Hmm.
in order to move on with my life and make sure people I care about are safe. It sounds like it'd actually be something that's really important to a lot of people and not just to us. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm being selfish for asking that and not some ultra power that's going to help us. I'm sure we have a bad fight coming up ahead of us.
Boss, you've been doing nothing but helping the people around you all this time. You deserve to get some help too, especially if it's for your family. None of us would begrudge you that.
I agree with Eve, Bosch. And moreover, if there were business that needed to be done, I would gladly come with you.
We will think of many phrases of cutting sarcasm to be used for this decision later. But please continue.
That was one of the nicest things Goth has said.
Yes, that's my wish. You can grant it.
Hmm. Unfortunately, I cannot provide the answer out of thin air. I do think that I could lend you some aid. I could give you an item that would mask your, well, your feyness. It would make it so that those that normally would not be able to speak to you due to bargains with their leaders or orders, that they would be able to speak with you.
Then that. I didn't even know that was something on the table. Please.
Alright. Now, do keep in mind that should either of the queens ask you where you got this from, you did not get it from me.
Okay.
And to make sure you're not lying, she weaves together some magic, and you see it kind of coalesce and form into another ring. And she hands it to Eve. Okay, you hand it to him.
Oh. Are you throwing me under the bus for this?
Hand it to someone else if you want them to be the one to hand it to Bosch.
No, fine, I see how it is.
I mean,
You
if
will
you,
hand Bosch the ring.
Thanks.
there. That way, I didn't hand it to you.
Hmm?
But then what if they ask me where I got it?
Hold on one sec. Let's try this. And I will turn to Chelovy, who appears to be standing behind me.
Hello.
Hold out your hand for a second, please.
Okay. Holds out hand.
I put the ring on it, then I snatch it from her hand.
Here we go.
You
Took
stole
it.
it.
From Hawk.
Ah!
Are we cool?
I'll like turn back to Chelovy.
Yes, I'd say that would probably work.
Here we go. We can go with that story.
Yes, that's actually quite clever.
Right. Then I will place this ring on one of my fingers.
And as for you, looks over towards Virgil.
He's been bashing breakfast. First meal we've had that's like actually cooked.
Veritas has been taking bites out of your own breakfast, Virgil.
I'll take anything at this point. It's not a fucking ration.
It is actually quite good. And it is also normal. Like, you were almost, like, coming down here, you were almost expecting it to be some kind of weird Fey dish. But, nah, it's bacon and eggs.
Fuck yous.
Yummy!
Got a full continental breakfast.
Cleans up. Takes a napkin, cleans off his hands, his face. Walks over to blah. In his hand, he has the half plate that he borrowed. 'Cause I'm not taking that shit from her unless I'm allowed.
If you
Just
want it,
sets
it's yours. I don't really have need for it. It was a gift from some dignitary or something.
Well, I've seen what you can do, and I don't plan on pissing you off by taking anything you won't allow, so I appreciate this. As for this wish, there's many things I wish for. If you can't necessarily help Bosch with his memories, I doubt you can return me to being a full human. So,
Unfortunately not. Best I could do is halfway.
as much as I would appreciate the gesture, and I mean no offense in this, not a big fan of this place, to be honest.
It grows on you.
Watching my P's and Q's is not my best attribute. So, I will take whatever you are graciously enough willing to give me.
Kind of eyes you up and down. Notices that you carry a blade. Are you any good with that blade?
I'm fair with it. Not the best, but I can hold my own.
Would you like to be better?
Kind of just looks over at Veritas, devouring a table probably.
Your plate is very shiny, Virgil.
I'm gonna eat that.
There's more. I can get you more.
He's a bottomless pit.
I
It's
know.
gonna be cooking for a while. I guess I wouldn't mind. I mean, are you going to bestow on me a weapon or the talent of a better swordsman?
Talent, I think, is more in order.
He just kind of stands there with his arms kind of at his side. Goes, yeah,
Alright.
don't tear a dimension and do the thing you did to that creature, the Jabberwocky, but hit me with your best shot, I guess.
I'll do my best. And I'll actually let you make a choice here.
Oh shit, fuck, damn it, man.
You may either
Yeah.
gain multi-attack,
Oh,
or you may gain the ability to use your spellcasting modifier in place of your strength or dex when making a melee attack.
Yeah. Whew. Let's see here.
Quality or
Two
quantity?
times. Yeah. Well, quality.
Quality.
Quantity. A lot. But, like, +3. Yeah, I'll go with quality.
Alright. Please refresh your sheet. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually mechanically do that in D&D Beyond. I haven't figured that out
Yeah.
yet, so you'll just have to add that +3. But you do have the feat that tells you what the kind of the rules are of that. It's a lot like Hex Warrior from the Hexblade subclass.
Gotcha.
Which is a pretty solid feat.
I can actually hit you with the sword, guys. Potentially.
By the way, through this whole thing, has there been a badger at one of the far tables?
Yeah, there's been a badger there, just kind of devouring food in front of it. You don't know why, Bosch, but you hate that badger.
Oh my gosh, is it a Fomorian in disguise?
Yeah, then we will say once in a while Bosch looks over his shoulder and casts a dirty glance at happily eating badger.
I'd say disgustingly eating badger. It is like just shoveling food into its mouth. Like, it seems to be almost, if not more, hungry than Veritas.
Wow.
I accept the challenge.
Cue the eating contest.
Well, in any case, I suppose that does fulfill the requests for favors.
Been generous. Thank you.
Well, it is the Palace of Heart's desire, Bosch. It's in the name. Now, unless there is other business that you wish to attend to, I believe we need to get you back home.
I think we have more to discuss first.
Ah,
Really? Like, this is home? Can leave?
I know, Virgil, I know.
Why are we doing it?
Because there are questions that need answers. And I think we're all sick of secrets by now, aren't we?
Not even slightly.
Most of us.
Point in case.
Secret?
Looks to Zablina.
Do you have anything that you would like to share with me in particular?
with you in particular.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, I don't mean privately. Anything you have to share, gestures around, can be shared with all of us. As I said, I am done with secrets and hidden knowledge.
Well, I would say good for you. Many a secret has destroyed many a thing. But I will be keeping some of my own secrets, I'm sure you understand. But I can tell you that I did know your mother. quite a bit, actually.
What was your relation to her?
Well, how much do you want to know?
I want to know all of it, if possible. Please.
Are you sure? I want you to roll an insight check. You get the feeling that it's nothing. What she's holding isn't like an earth-shattering thing to the world, but it might be to you.
Eve, coming from someone that has dealt with this experience, I have to kind of agree with Her Majesty. Are you 100% sure? I mean, you saw what it did to me.
Looks back at Virgil.
I know. I know that some truths are terrible to behold. And some would say that ignorance is bliss.
Looks back at Sablina.
But I was raised with the belief that the knowledge that is potentially the hardest to hear is the most important for us to know. And that no knowledge should be forbidden. So yes, I am sure.
Well, if you're sure, your mother and I worked together for quite some time, visiting different worlds, different forms of magic. And, you travel with someone for a while, get to know them, and one thing sort of leads to another.
You two were together.
We were. For a while.
Oh.
But eventually, each of us had responsibilities to get to. You can roll me another insight check.
Oh boy, I feel like I don't need it. I can feel the salt.
Oh,
But let's do it anyway.
this is some good old soapbox drama right here.
A 13? You might know what your mom's responsibility to get back to us.
Mhm.
Ah. I see.
But as hard as it was, I wasn't bitter. I even helped her get back to normal.
Get back to normal. As in,
Settle down, with you and her husband.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize this would be uncomfortable for you.
Well, may have ended a bit abruptly, but it's still a good time.
That's good.
Eve looks at her.
Mm-hmm.
Strongly suspecting that she's hiding some stuff.
Are you now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like you want to make me another insight check.
Oh my god.
The ever insightful
Can
me.
anyone make these insights?
I mean, if you're really listening intently, you can.
Eve made sure that the conversation was public.
Veritas is listening to his plate of food right now.
I don't have a fucking plate of food.
A goblin servant will actually bring one out to you, Virgil.
Yeah. Gazrakul is super invested, but all three heads are very purposely looking in different directions.
I'm just gonna nibble on my... Oh, wow. I'm just gonna nibble on my food, but I'm not interfering at all in the conversation.
Right, so with a nat 20 for Virgil, right off the bat, you obviously know that they got separated on account of the fact that Eve's mother needed to get back to being a mom. And that she is still hiding things. There's still more to the story. And she is picking her words carefully. I, however, need to roll for her to see if she can fool the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the other two do not catch on. She rolled a 20.
Oh.
She's a fae. What do you expect?
Yeah.
She's got good charisma.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah, for sure.
Like, seriously.
She rolled low, too. Like, she had to roll, like, really low.
Well, Eve made an incorrect assumption about the nature of the responsibilities that she was referring to. Eve looks away for a moment and is like,
Yes, well, my mother's responsibilities to her work and the academy have definitely altered the course of her life and those of everyone around her, myself included. But I admire her sense of duty, I suppose.
looks back to Zablina.
There was something else interesting that I wanted to mention to you. Back when we were dealing with Skabatha, we came across an interesting artifact in her abode. Some paintings depicting, I suppose, a family. Her sisters, all of her sisters. When another one of us touched it, it changed to depict their family. When I touched it, can you guess who I saw in those 4 portraits?
Given that you're speaking to me about it, presumably myself.
Yes, you were there. As well as my mother, my father, and Nistul, or Nyla, I suppose.
She actually
So
does
now-
scrunch up her face at that in confusion.
I know, right?
That's interesting. She looks at you kind of closely.
Leaf raises her eyebrows expectantly.
Well,
I'd ask if there was a resemblance, but I don't know if you've gotten a better look at her face than I have.
well, the portraits might not show blood relationship, but it could show familial relationships through importance, perhaps? That is interesting.
It is.
Why would she appear like that?
You don't seem to question your appearance nearly as much.
Well, I was close to your mother.
Sure, but if the portrait showed family, I had never met you before. I'd met my mother's parents before, back in Daggertail. Why did it show you and not them? I know your relation to her, but what is your relation to me?
Roll another insight. I'm sorry, it's a lot of insights, but 21. You think back to your mother's parents and meeting them, and the memory isn't there anymore.
Oh. The unicorn pool. What?
Just kind of stares into space for a moment and slowly scoots back her chair.
That's not.
Looks back at Sablina.
That wasn't. I never. Did they even exist? Do you know about this? Did you do this?
No. I first off, I don't know what you're talking about, but I haven't interacted with you since your birth.
Since my birth, you were there when I was born.
Yes. You can, with the 21, you can tell she did not want to say that.
Oh. How? That brings up some interesting timeline-related questions. But you know nothing about my mother's supposed parents that I supposedly met, but actually didn't, apparently, because those memories are suddenly not there anymore.
Well, how do I put this?
Was my mother even from Tackerdale? Did you know where she was from? Surely you two are very close. You must know a lot about her. Probably more than I do. I rarely see her, even when I'm at home. She's always at the academy. I don't really even know her that well. Surely you must know more about her than I do.
Right. I know that she would want to be around more if she could, but responsibilities kind of take precedent.
Self-imposed, but I get your meaning.
Not always self-imposed. The world imposes its own responsibilities.
Oh. She does her work at the academy because it's part of her dream, of what she wants to contribute to this world and the creativity within. Expanding the creativity of all she can by her tutelage. Raising the next generation of illusionists who can go out and change this world in her place. That is why she spends so much time at the academy. Not because she's obligated to in any sense. That's always been her drive, her goal, surely. That's not a lie, too. Is it?
It's not a lie. It's just not the whole truth. And I know that you want answers. But I don't think I'm the one that should give them. Let her explain herself.
Fine, I understand.
I promise you. Things will become clearer once you get back to Waterdeep.
Looks back at Zablina.
I will make that the truth, no matter what it takes.
I know you will.
I understand you not wanting to share her secrets. But if there is anything more that you wish to share with me about you and your relation to me, please do so now, because when I go home, any answers that I have not gotten here, I will chase down and receive one way or another. Better from your mouth than someone else's. Yes?
Maybe. There are some things that are better left forgotten.
I don't believe that. And I never will. You should know that much from your relation with my mother. That is one of the few things that I have inherited from her.
She kind of gives a little smile at that. Yeah. I can see that. Did you get the... I assume you saw the teleportation circle out front.
Yes.
Is that our way back home?
No. That's your way back here. If you go back and you speak with your mother, and there are questions left unanswered, then seek me out again. But not before No planes hopping until you speak with your mother. Yes?
Eve is suddenly feeling like a child who is being scolded.
All right, fine, I'll talk to her first.
Excellent. Roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh god! Oh no. Oh, I wasn't specific enough. Oh no.
You got.
I did get got.
Cool, you're under the effect of Geish.
What?
Geish.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's a nasty spell.
What?
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
takes a
Hold
while
up,
to-
doesn't that make you like a servant to someone?
Not exactly.
Yep. You have to
It's
follow their command.
it is a command that you know you must follow, but it's not like being charmed and where you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. You could do the thing they told you to do, or you could probably die.
5d10 psychic.
Yeah, it's a lot of psychic damage if you refuse the command.
Hell of a thing to do to like sneak into conversation with important people.
I know. Eve blinks rapidly and stares at Sablina.
You sure don't hesitate to put potentially fatal effects on the child of someone you care about, do you? That's the second one. Are you gonna stack any more on there?
It's just to make sure. I have no doubt that you will do this.
Now let me clarify something here. When you said planes hopping, does that just mean that I can't come back here until I've talked with my mother, or that I can't go to any other plane until I have? Not that I plan to. But things don't always go according to plan,
You
do
cannot willingly. If it should happen outside your control, then it is outside your control.
they? To any plane, not just this one.
Correct.
Great. Oh, awesome.
Alright, Bosch. Grab Eve if shit hits the fan.
Now, shall we head you off?
Unless anyone else has anything to ask about.
I don't. But I do want to let everyone know about something.
Boom.
Looks over at Jellybean as well.
Jellybean looks back.
We have skirted over the matter that what is needed to be done and to kill still Havity, my father.
I don't know if we skirted over that there, buddy. I mean, you've kind of said it multiple times.
I haven't.
For this,
I need to do what is best for my people. And as long as my father reigns in control, monks will not have freedom. And and suffering will be had. Looks at all of you and says, once still have these dealt with, I plan on being the next to lead our people and make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Are you sure you want that responsibility, Veritas?
Looks over at Jelebi. I need to be the one responsible. Who else will look after our kind? No one.
Then there is much to discuss, but once we can do so once we're in Waterdeep.
Well, before we go, what are you gonna do, Jelebi? Because once we go, you're back on Imperial Guard.
Well, if we end up at any point after he arrives in Waterdeep, after the events at the festival, we'll all be on his radar. Doesn't really matter. As for communications between him and I will abscond for as long as I can, and will inform Eve when I can't.
I just need enough time to make sure my family is safe. Then we'll see what happens.
Right. We don't even know how much time we'll have.
The sooner that we deal with this, the better it'll be for all of us and the ones who care about it.
Right. At this point, Sully and Wilnan will approach the lot of you. So, I guess this is goodbye.
Are you
What?
leaving?
Well, remember you came here to take us somewhere safe, and we're safe now.
This is true.
After all,
Glances back at
the problem isn't resolved yet. There still is the problem of Cass in the world, and Tommen isn't back yet.
Yes.
But when Tommen's back, we'll be back. We've got our own keys.
Then when Tommen is back, we will see you again.
Yeah.
Glances back at Sablina.
Do you mind if they stay here for a time?
It's fine.
Thank you.
I owe Tommen one anyway.
Why do I not find that surprising?
He gets around.
You could say that.
Veritas goes over to Wilnan and Sully. Says, "Take care, Wilnan. I hope to have some of your famous soup again one of these days."
Yeah.
And take care of yourself.
Thanks. You too.
Are you sure you don't want to stay, Virgil, since we are offloading baggage?
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking to me? Can't tell. The eyes on the left are looking right, and the eyes on the right are looking left.
Most are deaf or dumb, but you have the distinction of both.
Well, I feel like I have to come because you're still not too trustworthy. I mean, you did walk down the hallway into the door that wasn't told that was a spare room.
Yes, we walked down a hallway into a room. I'd like to list the last 3 days of our adventure in the castle and count all the halls that you walked down and all the doors you opened without express permission to do so. Can you count that up?
Oh no, I can't count. If I get close enough to you, you'll die.
3 faces smile at you.
Bang, smiling right back, and a little chuckle.
We don't have time for this, Virgil.
Oh, I
Gaz.
thought we were just joking around. None of that was serious for my part.
Yes, we needed to get it out before we go back in time.
Wait, we're going
This
back
is the
in
only
time?
time we don't know.
Shit! I was not part of the deal when we came here.
Well, rather back than forward, right? I'd rather be too early than too late for the destruction of my home city. Wouldn't you?
Plus, like, being able to say that you traveled backward in time, even if you try really hard not to make paradoxes, I mean, that's pretty cool.
I think we should not say that we traveled back in time.
Yeah, I think people would just think we're crazy. Unless we find someone who actually believes us, and then we're in deep shit. Like, don't say
Right.
that at all at Neverwinter.
Good.
Those wizards are fucking crazy.
You could do it talking with each other, though. Like, remember that time that we traveled back in time?
It's still only just a possibility of happening.
Hmm?
More likely, you'll just end up around when you left.
We have like a location that we're gonna be going to. Like, how's this work?
Well, that will be dependent on what the actual focus of the spell is. Luckily for you, you have a water Davian right here, motioning over to Eve. So, by using Eve as the focus, it should send all of you to Waterdeep.
Been a while since I've been there.
Right. Are you all ready to go?
Indeed.
I'll Will Nan like awkward one-armed hug.
Care, man.
You too.
I'll walk
To
over
Solly's
Will Nan.
new brooch and be like,
Hey, that looks pretty cool.
I know, right? It is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, take care.
I feel like the chaos is much more palpable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll walk over to Wilhelm and just give him a hearty handshake and say take care to him. When I get to Sully, I kind of put my arms out for a hug and just tell her, I don't want this to be weird, but I am the one that stood up for you first.
Yeah, that's true.
And lean in to hug her if she'll allow me.
Yeah, she'll hug you.
Try to stay out of forests. Alright?
I'll do my best. But might be a
I don't wanna
little
be-
hard kind of motioning around.
Stick to the courtyard. I mean, it's kind of foresty, but not really a forest. What I'm saying is, I don't want you running from anybody anymore. Alright?
Alright.
I'll try and keep in touch if I'm able to.
Well, you better.
I can send messages every now and then.
That'll be nice.
Oh, speaking.
A nice break from what I'm certain is going to be some, unfortunately, rather boring things, but, you know.
Hey, you're in the Palace of Heart's Desire, in the heart of Prismere. Can't possibly be that boring,
Yeah, now that,
right?
now,
Glances at Zabluna.
now that we're actually in the palace, I'm certain that there will be some form of entertainment for someone young like yourself. We'll just need to find it. You do have quite the library.
Shit, what about everyone we found?
Well, you'll need to decide.
I can't take Star back. I'd be interacting with people.
But you also need,
We-
to take Star back, because you need to take him back to the carnival.
Yeah, I know. The big fucking catch-22 there, guy.
I mean, we're not guaranteed to go into the past. We might just pop out, hell, even the same day that we left. And even if we do pop out in the past, by the time we got all the way back to wherever the Witchlight Carnival is, it would surely be past, the time we were actually there. Right?
Fretting about it will not change it. The best way to find out is to go.
Well, is there any last things we want to say before we head out?
Max, I sent you a message a while ago. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Okay.
And I would say you are
Not gonna
you are
remember.
unsure.
Okay. No, I do not have anything to do.
Veritas stands up from his chair, dusting off that lovely meal.
Alright, let's go home.
Eve You watch as a bush walks through the door.
Oh,
His buddy comes out to you. Hello.
oh, hi, buddy.
We finally made it to the palace. Yay!
Yay, we did.
Now
It's really nice here, isn't it?
Yeah, now where are we going?
Oh. Well, we're going back to the material plane, the prime material.
Ooh. Sounds like fun.
Do you want to come or do you want to stay here
Yeah.
and enjoy the...
I want to go.
Yeah, you want to...
I want to go where you go.
Oh. Alright, it might be dangerous though.
Yay!
Might be.
Yay! Oh boy.
Really, it might be.
Oh no, here we go again. Oh no.
Yay!
Alright, let's go!
Buddy jumps into your arms.
Oh, it bowls Eve over as Buddy is the size of her.
It's also still just a bush.
That's true.
It's the Fortnite like skin thing.
Yes.
Oh god.
In my brain, all I can see is Eve getting bodied by a bush.
Alright. The three guides come out and give you each a bow. Say, thank you for saving our lads.
Bows back.
Mimicking
Also
the bow.
bows.
Bows.
Yes, yes.
Pencil me.
Heroism, nobility, thankfulness, let's go.
You take care.
We will. Thank you.
Be careful of Edelyn.
Oh, I doubt that she'll be showing her face around here.
She better not. Oh!
Glances at Sablina.
So, Endelyn had on her person the mask of a dwarf. Middle-aged. Kinda balding. Heh. I know you're gonna do everything in your power to restore your lands to the way they were. Could you just... Would you mind making sure that he's restored as well? If it wasn't already on your to-do list. Please.
Restoring these masks is one of our top priorities.
Oh, wonderful.
Unfortunately, the enchantment seems to be quite powerful.
Mm.
It'll be done. It'll just take a while to get through all of them. She made a lot.
Yeah. Fair enough. This one I think was on her person the last we saw her.
On her person?
Yes, she had it
Well,
with her, using it as leverage against me.
well, that'll make things difficult then. That'll require finding her, more than likely.
You don't think she would have returned to the Matterhorn?
No, she's left Prismere.
Oh, shite.
And as for where, I do not know. If you want to hunt her down, feel free. I will eventually get around to doing it myself, but I have to clean up the mess they left me first.
That's fair. Alright. Then I think we're ready.
Let's
Alright. She gathers all of you and begins casting the spell. The magic swirls and swells around all of you into a bright myriad of shades of blue, all before dropping into this, what seems like this bottomless hole, and you all begin to fall. Falling down, down this hole. And something happens during this fall as this magic sweeps around you in this terrifying display of magical might. As you feel the focus, Eve, the focus channeling the location and destination of where you're going. You can see below you, opening out, you can see the city of Waterdeep in all of its splendor. But you see a side tunnel open up, and you feel, all of you, Eve, get drawn to it. And I need everyone, except for Eve, to make a charisma saving throw.
What the fuck? Charisma.
I'm using luck. Fuck it.
Nice.
Alright.
Okay.
Does Chalabi get one?
Chelavi does get one. Let's see. Chelavi, you've got a pretty good charisma save. Can you do it? Ugh.
What about Tia?
Yeah, is Tia making a charisma save?
Yes.
Does
Okay.
Buddy have to make one too?
I was about to say,
Oh, no.
buddy, stalwart.
God.
But
Everybody-
Buddy
Buddy.
does not make a charisma save.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
kill
job, Tia!
That's good for Tia.
Ooh.
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
What do you mean, kind of?
I mean, kind of. Hold on.
Oh god, are we gonna get separated?
Well,
It sure seems like that.
well, you might. Potentially. Eve, I need to know, what is your spell save DC?
Oh. My spell save DC
Yes.
is 16.
Oh, good. Then Shelby makes it.
Oh. I think that's good.
Well, obviously, two of you failed. Which means that, good news, you do not have a choice to make.
Oh, that's not...
Oh god.
Okay.
Bosch
Okay.
and Virgil
Yes, sir.
and Tia have a choice to make.
Cool.
Go down and complete the transportation to Waterdeep, or follow Eve.
God.
I love how it's the two characters that had fucking amnesia that's doing this.
Oh man.
Considering that Osh had gone through all these memory troubles and then seeing it happen to Eve as well, we'll try to be supportive and go help her.
Alright. Virgil?
That means Tia goes too, right? So Tia and Bosch are going.
I would presume Tia would go.
Okay. Do I want to split it so it's 3 and 3? Or can the intelligence-based character and charisma-based character find this? Fuck.
Remember, Veritas is smart now, so
Hasn't quite like led that on, man. We don't know
Yeah.
how smart you are.
through that.
Oh, fuck. fucking yeah, I'm going with. I gotta get the fucking water.
Alright. Veritas and Gazra Kul. You watch as your party departs to somewhere else. As for all of you, and especially Eve, traveling down this much darker path, you see below you only empty space and darkness and the whispering of something seems to creep into all of your minds. And eventually voices begin to be able to be picked out from them. Uncomfortably familiar voices.
Is this our future?
Is this our
Our
past?
past.
She's almost
here.
But we
But
haven't,
we haven't
left
left
yet.
yet. It's
almost
almost
time
time
to
to go. Will
Will
the dead one
make
make
it
it in time? We are the key
are the key
to
to everything.
You made
back.
it
You made it back.
Why did you come back?
And we go to black. And that's the end of the session.